All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget I post 1, 2, or 3 videos every single day. Hit the like, subscribe, the membership button, all that kind of good stuff. And here we go, Stellantis. Stellantis is pausing Jeep Gladiator production due to a parts shortage issue. This will also probably affect the Wrangler a little bit as well. And this could mean some big issues for us. Okay, some big deals for us coming down the road here. So let's take a look at this and then we're going to dive in. I got more information and more details here that we're going to dive into and take a look at. But let's look at this real quick here. It says right here, Detroit News, Stellantis NV paused production of the Jeep Gladiator pickups in Toledo this week as it works to align part inventory with demand. Okay, in other words, it's a part shortage. They don't have enough parts to build them. That's scary on a bunch of levels, but Toledo Assembly Complex South Plant that builds the Jeep Gladiator on 2 shifts has been down since Monday. This is on April 30th, which would have been Wednesday. So it's been down since Monday, and it's expected to be down. It says here, Stellantis will continue to monitor more situations as to assess whether further action is required, but the plant is expected to resume normal production the week of May 5th. So it's going to be down for at least a full week. 7 days down is what we're looking at for this thing, is to be down for a total of 7 days. Hang on, let me turn this off here so I don't have to worry about that. Hang on. There we go. And so it looks like we're going to be down for 7 days total minimum, and for not having parts. Several Stellantis assembly plants halted production in recent weeks due to tariffs, part shortages, and model changeovers and other issues. We find that interesting as well, too. Model changeover normally does not happen this time. Usually model changeover is like in July. So I find that very interesting that we're already getting model changeover. Could that model changeover be because the Ram 1500s are going to switch over to Hemi engines now? They're going to start putting the Hemis in them. We knew that was going to be coming pretty soon in July. Is that model changeover going to be relative to that, or what's happening there? Other issues is what it is. Tariffs, we understand that. But the part shortages, again, that's kind of scary. The Warren Assembly truck plant, which was paused for several weeks due to an engine shortage. That's definitely a problem there, too. The Windsor Assembly Plant in Canada came back on last week after 2 weeks off. The Toluca Assembly Plant in Mexico also stopped making vehicles for most of April. Stellantis said it paused those facilities in response to Trump's administrative 25% tariff on finished vehicles that took effect in April. The Saltillo Van Assembly Plant was also idled recently. Hang on. We don't want that. I don't know what I just hit there. There we go. I don't want that either. Let me get this stuff out of there. There we go. The automaker says right here that Toledo Gladiator facility was down for several stretches last year, due to relatively slow sales. When Stellantis portion of the plant conducted temporary layoffs, it had halted work by adjacent suppliers in Toledo Assembly Complex that brings the truck builds the truck chassis and bodies. We knew that happened as well too, and we also had a stretch in there. Now, last year they had a huge supply of 2024 Gladiators left over. So they had a lot of them available, so it wasn't going to be noticed. This year, things are a little different, which is what we're going to talk about in a second. The automaker has heavily discounted the Gladiator this year in an effort to juice sales, with 2024 sales are available for up to 20% off sticker price and a $7,000 bonus cash allowance on 2025 models. Sales fell 7% year over year in the first quarter, however. Workers and union officials remain hopeful that Stellantis will eventually add another vehicle to its plant since it has significant open capacity. Pretty interesting. Okay, and they say it right here that they're doing everything they can to move the Gladiators to get them to produce more. Now, they understand that the Gladiator is never going to sell as much as an F-150 or a Chevy Silverado, okay? It just doesn't have that kind of following. It's not that kind of vehicle. So they understand that, and that's why they keep it going and keep working it and keep, they're not expecting it to sell, anywhere near those kind of numbers. But they are upset that the numbers are down, obviously. But the reason that this is an issue for us, why this is going to hit us, is those of us, like myself included here, that wants to buy another Gladiator pretty soon. The deals have been phenomenal up until very recently. They're still pretty good right now. Is it going to stay that way? with this happening. So if we think about this, they're going to pause the production of the Gladiator for a minimum of 7 days. Okay, a minimum, and it could be 10. But let's just say if they do it 7 days, how many Jeeps do they make in a day? Gladiators. Okay, well, if we look at here, well, there's no exact production limit for Jeep Gladiators, estimated between 800 and 1,000 per day, including various models and whatever it is. So we'll call it just down the low end. We'll call it 800. So if we look at 800 and we do 800 times 7 days, that's 5,600 Jeeps made that are gone, that are not going to be produced. They will not be made during that entire time. That's a pretty significant deal for those of us that are looking to get deals. We're going to get a gap in here. So how's what I mean by a gap is we're going to have vehicles that are, coming off the line, jumping on a shipping truck, a transport truck, getting shipped to dealers, and constantly new inventory flowing in. And all of a sudden it's going to be crickets for a little while. If we don't have anything being brought to any of those dealerships, then it will pick up again and it will go. Well, how is that cricket area, that area of shutdown, going to trickle its way through? Well, we know that we just talked about, call it 5,600, so call it 5,000 vehicles that are not going to hit lots on there. Where are they sitting at right now? Well, as we look at it currently, Jeep, if we look at just Auto Trader, just using it as a example that I use across all boards, could be a few more, but if we look at this, we look at a Rubicon like I'm interested in, we take a look at the Rubicon, there's only 1,585 Rubicon Gladiators across the whole nation. I am on nationwide. I am on a Rubicon. I did not pick whether it was a Rubicon X, any of that kind of stuff, just left it as Rubicon, but there's only 1,585 Rubicons in the entire country for 2025 models right now. That is significantly low. That is not a high number of vehicles at all. That's pretty low. What about the Wrangler? If I just look at the Wrangler, because we know Wrangler is made the same place. Only 835 Rubicon Wranglers 2025 nationwide. Oh, hang on. I was at 500 miles. Let's go nationwide. See, that should be better. There we go. Whew. All right. So we got 3,100. But see, we got 3,100 of the Wrangler Rubicons. That makes more sense. This is kind of where you'd be expecting. We are at half that number for Gladiator Rubicons. There's a lot less of them. And there's only 1,500 available in the whole country right now. And now you're going to have 5,000 less hitting all at the same time, 5,000 less. So, and Jeep is doing some pretty good promotions. They're not selling them as good as the deals were before the employee pricing. So it's kind of a hit right now. So we got to take that into consideration. But there's going to be a gap in here in another couple of months where we're going to not see, if they keep selling Gladiators like they are and moving them like they're doing and getting rid of these things and clearing them out, and we only got 1,500 to go, and then we get a gap with 5,000 more where there's not going to be 5,000 there at all, that's going to be pretty interesting what that's going to do. It could mean that the deals are not going to stay that solid. If they run too low on inventory, and they're already at 1,585 across, if they run too low on inventory, they will stop with the sales on them and hold those prices more solid. Pretty interesting. We're going to see what they do. Already, look at these prices now. We know a lot of people are getting $43,000, $44,000, $45,000, $48,000 on Rubicon Gladiators. What are we sitting at now if we look at this and just take a quick peek? Okay, see, look at 40,000, nice. 41,000, nice. These are things that that one is actually very sharp too. Man, that color does draw my attention. But like I said, we might see some issues here number-wise with these. Here's a 41 right there, 43,000. But we might start seeing these deals drop for a little bit until production comes back. So if you're looking for a Gladiator, might not be a bad time to move on it before this shortage kicks in, this 7-day shortage, which won't be huge, but it might make it where there's some time period where we're not going to have very much availability. We're going to lose 5,000 a week worth of production. We only got 1,500 out there right now. Might be something to consider. Questions, comments, anything you got, put them below. Thanks for watching.